Welcome, friends. I'm Jean Greene, and this is Sips from the Sip, brought to you by the Utica Institute Museum. Around here, stories steep slow, and truth runs deep. We're serving up history, harmony, and a righteous dollop of sass. And this season, we're lifting every voice in celebration of gospel music in the Black church tradition. Today I'm joined by Frank McGriggs, founder and director of the gospel group Voices of Reason. A proud graduate of Hines Agricultural High School and a devoted educational consultant, Frank brings not only talent, but testimony. Raised in the church and trained in the art of gospel singing by none other than Kathleen McGriggs, Frank's story is one of faith, discipline, and divine calling. Come on in. The music's about to move you. So I want to welcome everyone back to our podcast, Sips from the Sip. In this episode, we're going to be visiting with Mr. Frank McGriggs. Mr. McGriggs has a deep and abiding love for Utica, and he is very grounded in not only the community, but in the school as well. He is representing today the Voices of Reason, but he's going to give us a little bit of the history of how he became associated with that group and which group he grew out of and how he's related to them and all of this. So I'm excited. Welcome, Mr. McGriggs. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Ms. Greene. My group, The Voices of Reason, which I am the founder of, derived in Iraq during the wartime. But before then, I'm going to give you a little backstory. At the tender age of 13, I was called by Mrs. Kathleen McGriggs here in Utica.
Are y'all related?
She's actually married to my cousin.
Okay.
So they've been married so long, and now she's cousin too. So.
Yeah.
But back then, I was a little boy, and I just remember her from working at the local Head Start and singing around town. Mm-hmm. But she had a group, the Sensational Chosen Voices, and they were taking on new talent and new groups to manage.
Okay.
And as children, she called me and said, "Hey, I got 2 kids that I practice with, and I want you to come and sing with them so you all can form a group.
Oh, that's good.
And we're going to help you all out." She knew me from singing. She knew, of course, my family because we're merged together. Spoke with my mom about it. She and my mom connected. My mom had worked with her before at the Head Start. And she said, "Okay, Kat want you to be in that group, Junior. I'm gonna let you go over there and see what they're about." So we practiced. Our first rehearsal was held at St. John Missionary Baptist Church on Morrison Road here in Utica. It was an older church back then. They've renovated since, and they're a larger church now. But we went to St. John. We would hold rehearsals on Thursday nights, every Thursday night. I got there, and the young lady she introduced me to was Maisie Jones. And Maisie now works for the Hines County Sheriff's Department. But Maisie Jones, and then, to my surprise, one of my classmates was there, Carl Eugene Brown. We always called him by his middle name, Eugene. And Eugene was there, and I said, "You're part of the group too?" I knew he could sing from school. And she said, "Yeah, I didn't know she was calling you." And we got there and got to talking and everything. And she and her group started introducing us to different songs and putting us on harmony parts. So together, the 3 of us had the perfect harmony. Maisie sung soprano, or in the quartet world, we call it top. She sung top. Eugene sung the middle, which is alto. And I was placed on tenor, which was beneath them. And we started singing together. The 3 of us had the perfect harmony. At the time, not bragging, but as children, I remember sounding as good as adults did.
Well, that's good.
You know, we had the harmony, and we sounded like grown people. Of course, we sung a lot of the popular quartet songs at the time. A lot of songs by the Canton Spirituals from Canton, Mississippi. A lot of songs by the Williams brothers, and different quartet songs by the Lumsey sisters who moved to North Carolina. We sung different songs by Mississippi quartet groups that were already famous.
Right.
And that's how we got our start. I was with the Traveling Voices. We were called the Traveling Voices. She named us after her group, the Sensational Chosen Voices. We were her babies, the Traveling Voices.
Okay.
And we were in one of our hit songs that we sung was "Take a Trip on that good old gospel ship.
Okay, yes.
We'll go sailing through the air. So we sung that together in perfect three-part harmony. That was one of the songs that we were known for in the area. The three of us. We could do it a cappella or even a rendition with music with her group. We sung with them managing us until we all reached driving age. And back then, we get our license at 15 and 16.
Right.
Not like the children today. I was 15 when I got my license. And by the time Eugene got his license, a lot of people had started calling us by ourselves not to just travel with their group.
Okay.
And she said, it's time to let y'all fly, babies. I'm going to have to let you all start going by yourselves sometime because you all are mature now. You can go out by yourselves. So people would call her and ask for us, but she didn't have to go with us. She would send us to programs.
Okay.
And we would go and represent with the dignity and respect that she had taught us. We would go, she always said, always take care of home in the surrounding areas. If they're calling you about a Utica program and they're having a program in Jackson or Edwards or in the surrounding areas, you make sure you take care of Utica first.
Oh, that's
Take
good.
care of home first. And when it comes to anniversaries and benefit programs, make sure you go where you're needed. Always take care of benefit program because you never know when it's going to be your time.
That's so good.
So she said always the benefit programs come before these regular anniversaries where people are just showboating and just singing. She said always make sure you take care of a benefit program or make sure you examine and know what the program is for. Go where you're needed first.
Can you clarify a little bit of what a benefit program is?
So benefit programs are programs that people put on in the community for people who are maybe sick,
Gotcha.
or have fallen on hard times. So maybe someone has a temporary illness that caused them to be off work temporarily, and someone in the community will get together and form a committee and say, let's throw them a benefit or a love program.
Gotcha.
Today they call them the love programs today.
Okay.
Back then they would just say a benefit program.
Okay.
And it was just for the temporary benefit of that person who was in need. And those programs were near and dear to our heart. That was instilled in us by Miss Kathleen. And we always went to those first. But as we got older and started going to the programs on our own, at the age of 17, I joined the military.
Okay.
I was in the Army. I was a finance sergeant. When I made it to Iraq, when I was called to war, I made it to Iraq. I met up with some people from Vicksburg, Mississippi.
Wow.
Everywhere I go, I was always taught to share your gift everywhere you go. Find your people. And when I say my people, those people who are full of the gospel and the Holy Ghost.
Right.
Find those gospel people. Find the people that sing. Find the people that play and do what you do. Birds of a feather flock together.
Okay.
I knew that my feather was gospel music. So I found my people. And not just gospel, but specifically quartet.
Gotcha.
Specifically quartet music. So I found those people. And I joined up with this choir over there called the Multinational Voices of Praise. It was made up of just what the name entails, multinational forces. It had people in the Air Force, Army, Navy, Marine, contract work, anyone who was from the States over in Iraq and back Iraq at that time. We formed that choir. That choir had about 300 plus members.
Wow.
And then there was a band. I would sometime accompany and play along with the band when they needed me on an instrument. I would play keys or auxiliary on keyboard or horns on keyboard when they needed me with the multinational instruments of praise. That's what the band was called. But aside from there, while meeting and practicing with them, everyone had to introduce themselves and tell where they were from and what unit you were from. Of course, and I let them know I was from the 230th Finance Detachment from Jackson, Mississippi. But I'm from Utica, Mississippi. And then I heard 3 people raise their hands and say, we're from the engineering battalion from Vicksburg, Mississippi.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, that's right down the road from my house and the States. Who would have thought it? We connected right away. And aside from the choir, we started to stay over sometimes and just start playing around with music. And I would play on piano and we would start playing around with music. And from there, we formed a quartet group. It was 4 of us. We started a quartet group, and I named them the Voices of Reason.
All right.
The Voices of Reason. Because we were like, okay, in this cruel world, someone has to be the voice of reason.
Excellent.
In this cruel world that we live in. And at that time during war, it was a very cruel world.
Yes.
We know we each had different missions with our unit while we was there. Finance. We were trying to get cash off the battlefield. They had their own initiatives as well. But we know that someone has to be the voice of reason when there's times of trouble.
That's true.
And we said, why not us? Why not let us be the voice, or together the voices of reason? And that's where the name derives from. We were the voices of reason from Mississippi. Didn't know that when I got back home and got in the civilian world, I was going to get a calling upon my life even greater.
Wow.
I was called into the world of education. I was sitting in church, listening to gospel music, and I remember hearing the pastor say, sheep make sheep. And it dawned upon me, education is the only profession from which all other professions derive from.
That is the truth. That is so true.
And I want to do my part. I start reviewing my life and the things that I've done. Everywhere I go, it seems as though I'm teaching people something. In the Army, I was teaching finance classes, or teaching hygiene classes at drill, or teaching anything. Teaching Sunday school when I was here, teaching youth Sunday school, helping teach Bible study. I'm always teaching or tutoring or showing someone how to do something, because I'm a bold soldier when it comes to standing up and being accounted for. So I decided to go into education. I got the calling upon my life. I started back here at Hines Community College.
When did you come back to Hines?
Came back in the year 2011.
Okay.
Came back to Hines, and from Hines I went to Delta State because they're partnered with Delta State.
Yes.
They have the 2+2 program. So I met a lady here in Hines who was a part of the 2+2 program, and I got with them. And of course, still rooted, the Delta area still deep in that gospel era. You got the Staples singers up there.
Oh, that's right.
When I graduated, Major Staples was given an honorary doctorate at my graduation. And we know that the Staples singers started as a gospel group before moving on to blues genre. We know that a lot of the other different genres derive from gospel music.
I want you to talk about that, but I want to ask you a question. When you came back to Utica, how were you involved in music on this campus?
On this campus, I did join the Hines Community College Gospel Choir. I joined the Gospel Choir. I sung with the Jubilee Singers, the world-famous Jubilee Singers, for a little while until my schedule said I couldn't.
I got you.
Being an education major, I had to do observations of different schools, and I was sent to do a lot of field study. And once I was sent out to do field study in different places, then I had to let the Jubilees go. But I still remained a member of the award-winning gospel choir here under the direction of Dr. Bobby Cooper.
That's right.
So I sung with them for a while. And when I came here, I still wanted to do quartet. Had my quartet roots. I formed a little group with my cousins called the Heavenly Harmonizers.
Okay.
So we sung for a little while, for about 4 years. We sung. And I went on to school with Jackson State. And when I got my teaching degree, I started teaching in the Vicksburg Warren School District. While teaching in Vicksburg, I connected with one of the original members of the Voices of Reason from Iraq.
Wow.
Who I went to Iraq with. And he and I linked back up, found 2 other members, and we started the Voices of Reason back up in Vicksburg. And while they're singing in Vicksburg, of course, everywhere and in Utica and in the surrounding areas, I matured. I got older.
Yeah.
And I decided to come back home and teach at Utica Elementary Middle School. Came home and taught middle school math. And while here, the group just migrated to Utica.
Wow.
One of the members of the Voice of Reason actually started teaching down here in Utica with me. Another member started teaching in Port Gibson. And we would still rehearse here at my house in Utica. So we became the Voices of Reason of Utica.
Okay.
Because when people would send us invitations in the mail, then I would give my address. And of course, then they would just start knowing us as the Voices of Reason from Utica. Because I was the founder and I'm the founder member. My wife sung with us. And so, of course, she's here in Utica. So now we're known as the Voices of Reason from Utica. And a lot of people know us by the famous song that we sing, TikTok, Time is Rolling On.
Oh, yes.
Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Don't know the day, don't know the hour, but time is rolling on. Those are the lyrics to that song. So a lot of people know us from that song, TikTok. So when they see us, a lot of people won't even say, there's the Voice of the Reason. They'll say, there's the TikTok group. There's the group for TikTok.
That's so good.
And ironically, then there's social media with TikTok. So
Hey, that's right.
there's a TikTok platform. But our rich roots come from right here. In Utica, being founded right here. I share my vision with them all the time. We talk about why we started the group and how we bring people closer to Christ through our music.
Okay.
People having bad days. A lot of people call us and say, hey, I want to put up a video. Send us the video of you all singing. Or tell us where we can find your music at.
Do y'all have videos out on YouTube?
There are some videos out on YouTube. More videos of us are out on Facebook.
I got you. Yeah. Y'all have a Facebook page?
We do. The Voice is a Reason from Vicksburg.
Okay.
We had to change it over to Utica. I hadn't messed with the page, like updated, did any edits in a while.
Right.
But I'm active. We're active on the page.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Talk to us about, you mentioned how gospel music can uplift your spirit and how you become a blessing to people through the benefit concerts that you've done. Can you talk a little bit more about what this genre, the gospel genre, especially the quartet version of it, how that can work with you in your spirit or how it can enhance the community?
Yes, I could talk about that all day.
You got all day. So, McGriggs, come on.
So quartet specifically in gospel music, for me, it has brought me through hard times. It's personal. It's like therapy. It's like therapy. It's mental. It can become physical because it provides a feeling all over. People who don't even have the luxury, or maybe their busy schedule don't allow them to even go to church, to go inside of a building and fellowship, they can still hear the music, and the music speaks to their spirit, their soul, and also helps them with life decisions. Gospel music itself entails of a lot. It's not just a religion, but gospel music is a way of life. It's a way of life, even for the saved or unsaved. Even if you haven't totally surrendered or given your life to Christ, gospel music says a brighter day is coming. It confirms that things won't always be bad. You have good days.
That's right.
A lot of gospel songs tell stories. They tell stories. A lot of the songs we sing share Bible stories. When I think of gospel music, I think of a lot of the greats like Dottie Peoples, who sings On Time God. Those verses, she goes back and talk about the story of when Moses parted the Red Sea. She says you can ask the children of Israel trapped at the Red Sea by the mean old Pharaoh and his army. They had water all around them and Pharaoh on their tracks. But from out of nowhere, God stepped in and built a highway just like that. And we know that she's telling you that he parted the Red Sea. That's true. Because God came in and made a way out of no way, where they didn't even see a way. They were running, they were in trouble, and God came in and he built the way, he made a way out of no way. Those type of things gives us comfort, letting us know that trouble really does not last always, like the great Timothy Wright says in gospel. I'm so glad trouble doesn't last always. But those stories come in and give you confirmation, because it feels good to hear about other people who have been through things in life. In my songs that I write, I share my testimonies. I share the times that I didn't have a dime, and then he stepped in on time. I share the times that maybe I didn't always have the money to buy the specific food that I wanted to eat, my chosen food, but I didn't go hungry because God made a way. I knew that he was going to make a way, and those songs tell stories of things of that nature, that he's going to do it. It encourages me. It will also encourage people to read their Bible. People who don't like to read, when you hear the stories, you'll say, I want to go back and reference that. I want to go back and check that story out. They made it sound so interested in that song, like the song of Ezekiel and the Dry Bones. My group we sang a rendition of that song. God told Ezekiel to go down in the valley of bones, dry bones. That's the chorus of that song. And it says, get up, now hear the word of the Lord. But when you hear things of that nature, you're like, he actually had bones from dead people down there in the valley, and I need to go read that. That's interesting. It gives you hope.
That's an excellent point. Everything you're talking about today is really in line with the themes that we wanted to discuss, especially giving hope. When we find ourselves in the community where we are, and we are going through times where we are in the middle of a food desert. You talk about not being able to get the food you wanted, but you didn't go hungry. And we have all of the economic depression. We have the way that our educational institutions are being subsumed or pushed down. So what can give people hope? And it is this global music. It started out local,
Yes.
but it became a global format. How that brings hope to the hopeless.
Yes.
And it can bring a comfort to people someone who may have had their house burned down, or lost someone suddenly, or who is just suffering through some sort of, was it life gonna be life?
Yes.
Life be lifing.
Yes. Absolutely.
So the thing that really has touched me is the way this music, this storytelling can allow people to know that, one, they're not alone.
Yes.
Because when you think you're alone, then who's going to help you? That there is a tomorrow. There is a light.
A light at the end of that dark tunnel.
There's a scripture that says, suffering may endure for a night.
Yes. But in the morning comes joy.
That's right. So you're giving it, and that's a song too.
Yes. Yes.
So I see all of this coming together in this area. The town, the area surrounding Utica is so full of these groups, this sound, this ministry.
We need it. And we need it. It's despair around here because growing up here in Utica, I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot in Utica growing up. We've lost a lot. There's been a lot of loss in Utica. We lost our grocery store.
Yes.
When I grew up, a lot of people worked in the local grocery store. Those were jobs.
Right.
We lost the sewing plant, the clothing sewing plant, the Bernstein plant. We lost the Bill's Dollar store that we had in Utica. All of the other businesses that are thriving are on the outskirts, not inside of Utica city limits, not in town limits. I was here when we lost our bank, when we lost Bancorp South, and I banked with that bank.
Right.
And then I remember stating to my grandmother, and she lived right downtown on Main Street. She banked there. And she was like, where are we going to put our money now? And I remember them doing different concerts and gospel production shows then, just to let the town know that everything's going to be all right. We had a little concert in town, and I sung at it. But I remember when Hope Credit Union came, started with a trailer across the street from the police department. They started in a little trailer right across from the police department. They came and Hope actually came to bring hope.
Right.
To us, to let us know that we're going to bring an institution. Now they're in the old bank building, and I do my business and my personal banking there with my company now. But at the time, it was despair.
Right.
So we needed that gospel music and gospel concerts to be brought on to us somewhere we can uplift our spirit.
Right.
To let us know you won't be in despair long, that it's something here in Utica. I remember right here on the campus, the high school closed in 2014. I'm a graduate of the high school, 2005 graduate of the high school here. I went to high school here, played in the band here, did other activities, played tennis and everything here on the campus, and it was thriving at the time.
Right.
The high school was thriving. Great test scores, great faculty and staff,
Right.
great activities. They even had activity buses. So our parents could let us participate and didn't have to come pick us up. So it was more participation. I remember the band had about 175 people in the band.
Oh, that's right.
At the time, yes, because they didn't have to, the band was so big because they didn't have to provide transportation, personal transportation. They had activity buses to take us everywhere. It was more people
and take
involved.
you home, too.
Yes. So that's why the choir had maybe about 150 people, just because they had transportation to take us home. We didn't have to rely on personal transportation to come and take us home. We needed that gospel to bring us hope.
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
I'm really enjoying listening to you tell the story, because I remember you when you were in high school, and I remember you. I'm really dating myself. I remember you when you would come back and you were involved with Jubilee Singers. It is something when I listen to the different groups. I've listened to the Utica Southernaires and some of the others, and they remind me of the music I used to hear as we were going. I'm really going to tell you how old I am now. When we would be on our way to church in Marks, where Marks in Mississippi is, we went to church in Marks from where I lived in Pope. And on the radio would be all these songs from the radio station we listened to then was out of Memphis, WDIA. Okay. And all Sunday morning, Sunday was the gospel music day. And I can't remember the group, but they sang a song called Touch Me, Lord Jesus.
Yes.
Touch me, Lord Jesus. Yes. That is part of the soundtrack of my youth going to and from church in Marks. All these other the quartet groups, not these huge choirs so much, which there's nothing wrong with those, but it was the intimacy of the quartet that doing that 3 and 4 part harmony. I can remember that, and hearing some of those songs now bring back memories of being in that hot car with no air conditioning driving around.
I can only imagine.
No, I'm telling you, it was a different kind of heat. Talk a little bit about where you see gospel music in this area going.
Right now, where we are now, I see gospel music continuing on throughout the ages because as a community, we won't let it die.
All right.
I have found new talent with teenagers in the town the same way Miss Kathleen found me when I was a teenager. Mm-hmm. I found new talent and I've taken them under my wing and said, hey, let me work with you all. Y'all can harmonize together. Y'all can sound good together. And work with them and started them off and everything. I've taught some of the students, some of my former students from middle school who are now high school, I've taught them piano. Some of the faculty members here on campus, their children I've given piano lessons to try to keep the music going.
Exactly.
For our community.
Exactly.
Not just abroad, but definitely for Utica. Been trying to keep it. There's actually a musicians appreciation program coming up Saturday at the Rohillia MB Church here in Utica, and one of my former students, he's being honored as a pianist and a drummer. And I've been doing ACT tutoring with him a little bit this summer, and I'm going to show my support with him, and maybe my wife and I maybe even do a duet, or we're going to form with my old group led by Faith, and we're going to go by and sing too. But we're trying to keep it going. Excellent. Because we know the importance of it. There's history, there's rich history in it, there's support in it, there's love, there's hope. There's a lot embedded in this gospel music history that we have. Exactly. So we're trying to keep it alive, trying to keep it active and going for the ages. We want to keep it moving for the ages. It will never die here in Utica. The Utica Southernaires, the Sensational Chosen Voices, the James family, the Faith of Brandon, who derived from this area, the Southern Five, who were the Sons of Faith, and then the Sisters of Faith from Port Gibson, who started here on this campus.
Wow.
We have so many groups who've derived from Utica and maybe branched off and moved to other areas. But we will keep the Utica gospel and the quartet going for the ages. Excellent. My own son has learned to play drums, so now he plays for me and my groups everywhere I go.
Look at passing that down. Yeah. And he's how old?
He's 10 years of age.
10 years old and starting young like his dad. When you spoke of the history, of course it's going to remind me of Holtzclaw starting the Jubilee Singers to spread the news of Utica and the good news all through the country. So when you speak of the history of this area, it is deeply embedded in Utica and in this institution especially. And I'm going to bring it to a close in just a second, but I wanted us to talk a little bit about how the history, a little bit about the history, but mainly about how the groups have, you did a lot on that, have expanded and brought the news out and then brought it back. Yes. It's like you went out to Iraq, found some local folks and brought that news back. Yes. But you also shared the news while you were there.
I did. And it's always, just like even in education, it's a blessing to be a blessing. It's a blessing just to be a blessing, to be able to bless others. gospel music is a gift. Everyone doesn't have that ability to share that or to engage in it. Not with effect, and not with fidelity, and not with high effect. I'm thankful that I was gifted that a long time ago by God himself. I don't have a lot of singers that are closely related to me, so I know it was a gift from God. I don't have a lot of singers who are closely related. A lot of singers I know are distant cousins, like the James family in Utica, or Miss Kathleen and those Chosen Voices so she's married to my cousin who sings and plays guitar. But like mother, sister, brother, aunt, and all of that, none of those people in my family can sing. Coming up, I was like, how can I sing? And how did I know why is harmony so easy to me? And I know it was a gift from God. I learned later that he gives us those gifts. Those gifts, just dancing or the ability to perform in other arts, visual art or any of those things. He gives us those gifts. And once we recognize them, then it's our job to enhance those gifts, to study and enhance those gifts. And that's what I did. I was never taught piano lessons. I just picked it up by ear. And I started playing. And then later, I started to formally train myself. After the technological enhancements of the age we live in now, I started to look at videos and start to enhance my playing. But I started playing as a result of me singing. We branched off by ourselves. Even though we sounded good, some musicians didn't know our music, and we were writing songs at a young age.
Right.
And they would make us sound bad because they wouldn't play the songs in the correct key, or they wouldn't transition with us. The transitions between the different parts of the song wouldn't go with what we were trying to do. And I immediately started to pick up the piano so that I can at least, if not play for us when we go somewhere, I can tell them the chord changes or the number system. I learned the number system for the guitar. I can say, hey, we're going to start at the 1, and then we're going to move to the 3. We're going to move to the 5. We're going to go back to the 1. I can be able to talk them through it or hold up numbers when we're singing.
Okay.
So that musicians could take us to where we're trying to go and help us deliver the message appropriately at that time. Gospel music with us, wow. I can't say enough. It's changed my life so much. It provided a way out. If I didn't sing as a teenager, it wasn't a lot to do in Utica. We didn't have recreation programs. So either you played sports or you sung. You did sports and music. You were in the band or you sung. And that's what I did. I sang until heaven got the news. You know?
Heaven got the news.
No, there was no shutting me up. I was going to sing until heaven gets the news. Bringing it back here. Always, even though I'm sharing it other places, bringing it back here, Utica was so important to me. Even though I taught other places, I moved other places. I've lived in other places. I've lived in regional Mississippi. Lived in Jackson. I've gone other places. I've been in Wisconsin for a little while. But to always know in my mind that I was going to eventually come back and live here in Utica with my family like I do now. And I was going to make sure that my gift was shared with Utica. Right now, God has blessed me to be the CEO and founder of my own educational consulting firm. Being the CEO and founder of Choices Education Services, where there's always a chance when you make the choice. Thank God he's financially blessed me where I don't have to necessarily charge for my gift.
Excellent.
So I can play a funeral in the community when they can't find a musician. They say, hey, let's call Mr. McGriggs. Maybe he'll play for us. And I'll say, I don't normally play traditionally anymore, but if you need me, I'll be there, no charge.
Oh, yes.
The local funeral home, West Haven, they have my card on their desk. If they don't have their own musician, they'll call me. Say, hey, can you come do it? And I'll play and sing solos there for free. When they're having church programs, because I can play by ear, I can come and be the house musician. Gotcha. And play for everyone who gets up to sing. And I'll do it free of charge just because I just like being around the gospel music. I just like being around it. It lifts me up. It gives me a push and say, you can make it through another day, especially being in these different school systems that I'm in. It says, okay, all children not bad, Mr. McGriggs, because there's hope. Song says, yes, there's hope. We sing that gospel song that says, yes, there's hope. People are dying every day and things are happening. But as long as Jesus is alive, yes, there's hope. So just going, hearing my spirituals and listening to gospel on the way to work, listening to gospel on the way to the store, listening to gospel as I'm completing tasks, as I'm planning to go into different school districts. I'm listening to gospel songs and it's uplifting me and giving me enthusiasm about going and provide the service.
Excellent. Listen, as you said, we could talk about this all day. Yeah. And I want to formally open an invitation for you to come back if you can get your group together and to do us an acoustic a cappella concert that we can also provide to our listeners. That would be awesome. If you can find the time in your schedule to make that happen, that would be awesome. Thank you for joining us today, and I look forward to listening to the concert.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Frank McGriggs reminds us that gospel music is more than melody. It's a ministry. It shapes the heart, sharpens the mind, and keeps us rooted in something greater than ourselves. Thank you for joining me for Sips from the Sip. This program is supported by donations from our listeners. If you enjoyed today's program, consider making a donation or becoming a patron. To support Sips from the Sip and all the work we're doing at the Utica Institute Museum, visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Utica Institute. Until next time, this has been Jean Greene from Utica in the heart of the Sip, where the Spirit speaks and the stories sing. Stay rooted, stay lifted, and don't forget to let your voice be a voice of reason.